Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lockdown Throwdown Tournament Invite Semifinals between Ascent.EU and Six. My name is Lucky. I'm joined by ondkaja on observation, Wiethoofd on production, and Beta as my co-cast. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Second day of a tournament. That sounds like a good time to me. I spent basically all day yesterday just watching TF2 and nerding out, and I'm ready to do the same thing today for sure.
Well, we certainly have got a bit of a treat of a game for the two of us. This evening, Ascent and Six, two powerhouse teams. Only last week were playing the grand finals of ETF2L. Little bit of a throwback. Of course, there was a change to the roster of Six, I believe. They dropped Ace and they've got Jorge instead. Not sure if he couldn't play or whatever was going on there, but I mean, how are you feeling about this game, dude?
I think it's going to be one hell of a cracker. So far, Ascent have seemed really dominant, but they also haven't really been pushed very much. So I'm not sure what to take away from that. Six has played a lot of games against really good teams, and they've been playing really well. And it kind of felt like they had a taller mountain to climb than Ascent, whereas Ascent was kind of been cruising through nice and easy. Whereas just all of a sudden, like if you look at Ascent, right, they played against Minecraft, then they played against Currywurst and Cheese, which is a German team, which is like an okay team, but it's not like a top tier Prem team.
Yeah, it feels like they weren't really contested on their way through to this point. Maybe they're feeling, a little bit comfortable with the games that they played. Obviously, Six going into a hard game versus straight off the bat, Clarted Gaming, a team that's pretty established, I'd say, playing Division 1, sort of bordering on Prem. They played against Prem teams when they scrim and stuff. Obviously a very strong team, so they didn't have the easiest of starts, and then they won that game 2-0, but then they had to go directly against Nerd Rage next, and we've just seen that game, and obviously that game seemed like it was closer than it obviously looked with the 2-0. It looked like a pretty on-the-nose kind of game. It could have swung either way if Nerd Rage had pulled a few more things out of the bag. Unfortunately, they could not, and as a result, Six will be going through to face Ascent. So, yeah, what are you feeling about Six? After the ETF2L Prem Grand Finals, how are you feeling they're going to adjust versus Ascent? What do you reckon they're going to be changing about how they play?
I don't know that. I think the first thing I want to touch on is just how good Jorge has been this morning. Like, holy hell, in both of those matches, he was absolutely incredible. First of all, on Gollywas, he went 3 for 1, so he had a KD of 3 on Medic. That's good. And he had like the craziest play where he got 2 kills and then just bullied a heavy off the point as Medic and capped it. I've never seen anything like it. It was crazy.
Yeah. I've always spoken about Jorge in a good light. Every time I've seen him play Medic, it's always been a bit of a joy to watch, and I genuinely believe he's deserved of a team of this caliber, and he's honestly earned his way through. He's been grinding through Premiership, it would seem, Premiership and Division 1 for the last couple seasons, and doing a great job of it. So it's great to see him there. Speaking of which as well, on the side of Six, we've got Nubby with his Prem debut last season, picking up second place immediately as well. We should probably talk about him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a great job with these games.
I've actually always been really impressed with Nobby. I had never heard of him at all. And he just kind of... In my head, he's the same thing as Laz, the American roamer, who just played on Project Black, who I had also never heard of. And then whenever I watch them, I'm just super impressed with like their decision-making and their timing when jumping in, and just also the DM in general. The movement around the map. I've been really impressed with Nobby. And not just because he hit like a fancy market garden or whatever. That's not even important to me. But just his decision making when he jumps in, and just the timing, and I just love the little things he does. He will very often just go like sniper and spawn very quickly and just take a pot shot at someone as they're in if someone has overextended. Like he does those small little things where you can just tell, oh, this guy's thinking. He's like being creative, and you taking advantage of every small, minor advantage that he could possibly get away with. And I just really love the way he plays. So hopefully he can keep that up.
Yeah, he plays almost as if he's on like a razor's edge. It's always on the cusp of being nearly not working because it's like so on the edge of the gameplay that they're achieving. But he is absolutely slamming it as well. Not to mention his off-classing capabilities. I'm sure if we saw him on Viaduct or Product, it would be a pretty strong showing. He could snipe permanently if he wanted. He would be just that good at it, and he does tend to outsnipe these established snipers that we've seen. Like in a few games, I saw him outsnipe Kunu and Credu, and that is an achievement in itself to actually be able to beat those two. And obviously, he has the spy plays that he pulls out once in a while. He did get a couple drops, I believe, in the last couple games versus a few teams as spy, just getting those backstabs, and he just plays out of his goddamn mind. But has to be said, now that we've hyped up 2 players at the side of 6, Gink, just gonna say, Gink is insane. I say this every single time I watch him play.
Yeah, he's extremely good, and he has been the best roamer in Prem for seemingly 2 seasons now. He has a massive impact on the game, and that's going to be a very fun battle on the flank, I think, because if I know these teams right, they're going to try and send some players behind and do some wacky shenanigans there. We actually do know the maps, but let's just talk about the rosters before we go through the map list here. So Ascent, I think their biggest strength is just that they have been more or less unchanged in the way the main season is, and there's been a lot of roster shuffles in this tournament because people can't play all the time and all that stuff. But Ascent, they've just been completely solid. Same demo man, same medic, same everything. And they are going to be super difficult to deal with just because of the high caliber of the players and the stability of their roster in a very unstable season.
Yeah, of course. But Ascent.EU, just going to run down that roster real quick. For those of you who don't know who's playing on this famous roster, is Domo picking up that medic class. Got Pappy on the pocket soldier, Tomas on the pocket scout, Gink on the roamer, Credu as the flank scout coming in, replacing sorry, I can't remember who he actually replaced, but he dropped out of Egg and then went into Ascent. Sorry, and then they've got Lucas on the demo man. As well, Lucas Stank. Obviously, God, this man is an absolute machine. I'm scared for anyone that sees Lucas Stank on that enemy team and thinks that they are not going to receive a point of damage, because this man is a damage machine. And obviously on the other side we've got 6 picking up Everex, the Pug Star himself, Nubby, who've been talking about in a good light, Voxtech, Gazzy the Pyro main, Smire, and of course we've got Ace and Nasboy picking up the sub spots, and Jorge is the main medic. So both teams not to be scoffed at, but yeah, coming into our first map, which I believe is going to be Snakewater.
Yep, 6 started out by banning Product, then Ascent banned Reckoner, and then Ascent picked Snakewater. So, what do you think the logic is behind that pick ban order right there?
I think the logic behind it is that Ascent, they tended to not really enjoy Reckoner during the season. They had a bit of a rough time trying to muddle their way through the map. They just seemed like they weren't as coordinated as they were on other maps, so I think it was a wise decision from them to ban it. And obviously they like playing this controlled, very by-the-book playstyle, which is how they pick up Snakewater, because it's one of these maps where they can stay aggressive, play by the book, and just end teams with their superior DMing abilities and their superior organization. So I reckon that's the reason they picked it. And the reason for 6 picking Sunshine is it's Nubby Haven, my dude. He can bomb everywhere, so many hiding spots, so many sniper angles. It's just going to be perfect for him. And then Gullywash, obviously, the decider. I'm struggling to believe that Smear is going to be able to stand up to Lucas Stank on the Demo Man class. That's not calling Smear bad, that's just calling Lucas Stank just that damn good.
Like, one thing for sure that I know that we're going to see is that Smear is going to be very aggressive, and it's like he's very hit or miss in his playstyle, I feel. If he is not being focused like really intently by the enemy team, Smear will just carry super hard and do 1,000,000 damage and lock down every choke so hard that like you've never gonna experience anything else like it. It is really nuts. So I'm sure Ascent, they are like they're aware of this, and they're gonna do their best. But we have seen some teams shut down Lucas as well. I can't remember if it was 6 or if it was who the hell it was that played them on like Granary, where they just managed to really just stifle Lucas super hard. So it is actually possible to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Granary is definitely the map to do it if you're going to do it on any map, obviously. Yeah, Granary mid's a pretty hard mid for Lucas Stank to really get an impact on. Obviously, you can fire stickies up to the high ground, but it's got such a vertical angle that it just is so much better for, for soldiers to bomb. Once again, it's just adhering to their aggressive playstyle on the side of 6, where they just want to be bombing the whole time, and I feel like that's the reason why they would smack them on Granary.
Yeah, it's the rule on Granary is that there's a scout that's going to run around the corner in 2 seconds before you expect it. So, yeah, it happened 2 seconds before I just said that. I'm sorry, you're dead. That's just how that middle goes. It's sad, but we are not on Granite. We are on Snakewater. This is one of those middles where I don't feel like Demo Man is super impactful. Like, you can't really lock down the chokes before everyone enters it like you can on Golly Wash. And it's also pretty open, so you can't get those very easy stickies in where you do a ton of damage. So it's not the biggest deal, I don't think. Is Lucas going to do more damage and smear on this middle? Maybe, but it's not that important. I think it's much more the soldier aggression coming in here. And like Nobby's definitely going to be in the skybox. Gink probably as well. I think I remember seeing Ascent having some really passive mids as well, where they just wait for people to jump into them and then they make decisions based off of that.
Yeah, that is sort of how they like to play Snakewater. They just sort of wait. They generally on the first mid, but they'll scope the other team out. They'll understand what they want to do, and they'll adjust their next mid accordingly, depending on how that previous mid went. And if that's going aggressive or playing a little bit more defensive, repositioning scouts, etc., then they'll go ahead and do that. But obviously, you're talking about the Demo Man as well. I mean, the only job that they really have on this mid is either to try and trade in a sticky fight across the mid against the enemy demo, or they can sticky on the top right or top left to deny a little bit of high ground from those scouts, sticky off the right or left hand side from a scout rush as well, as like just trying to deny that scout aggression after the soldier bombs do come in, because often you see a soldier bombing behind into kitchen or bombing behind into saw or just diving directly on top of the combo, landing on catwalk or something like that. And it's really hard to block that as a Demo Man, since they can dive in so damn high, and it just makes it difficult for them to even block anything. So denying those scouts probably the Demo Man's highest priority on Snakewater mids, I believe.
Yeah, there's a lot of things for Demo Man to do. There's too many things to do, in fact, I would argue. It's pretty much, just too many things. You just mentioned a whole bunch of them, and there are more. Don't you worry, guys. There's much more that a Demo Man can do, and he only has 8 stickies. I know that sounds preposterous to say he only has 8 stickies. That's so many. But, just trust us on that one.
Yeah, that's why Demo Man is also known as the reload simulator, because you spend so long reloading those stickies on Snake. But Snake, notoriously known as well for sticky traps, there's plenty of trap spots around the map that you can use and abuse. And I believe Smear is actually one of the more creative demos in that regard. He knows a lot of spots around Snakewater that he can use and abuse. I don't feel like they've considered the big brain that Smear has in his ability to drop medics. Of course, Domo on the medic class, though, gonna be a tough one to catch. And speaking about the medic matchup, Jorge versus Domo in regards to their ability on medic, I believe that Jorge actually superior medic. I genuinely believe that, despite Domo's experience.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go that far, but I will definitely concede that Domo is sort of the new face in Ascent. You know, I was talking about how stable their roster has been, but that's a half truth, because Domo is a relatively new medic for them. He played. Did he play it the entire season? I can't remember.
He played it the whole season. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he did, but he didn't play it before that season, and everyone else on the roster has played like several seasons together. It's been a very stable roster with only them losing Connor. Basically, I think I'm mixing up teams, but either way.
You're mixing up teams there, because Connor was playing with AMS, wasn't he? In Ascent. Other Ascent, and they swapped because Mela was like, oh yeah, these guys didn't do too great at LAN, I'm just going to pick up Feint Gaming instead now, and just swap the entire roster out. And it was a very confusing time for everyone, because we wondered who was actually playing on Ascent at that period of time. But now that's all in the past. We've got to talk about one thing as well, is that Ascent, they like to execute a mid that they've patented and known as the Big Crunchy.
Well, do inform me. What is the Big Crunchy?
Basically, you bomb both your soldiers directly into the enemy team and run at them.
I was thinking we were going to have like some big brain plays, but all right, that was way more simple than I thought. But it's very effective, for sure. It's all about that timing.
Yeah, you essentially reach the mid and you just bomb immediately, and then you just play off the aggression and all the damage that you get, and you focus targets. Of course, it sounds easy enough to execute, but executing it to near perfection without losing your medic or being collapsed upon is another story entirely. The only reason that Ascent can manage to pull it off without losing their medic regularly is because they know how to focus targets, and they are disciplined. Like he said, the roster's been together for a long, long time. They understand that they need to focus the correct targets at the correct time on these mid fights to make sure that they don't lose anyone, and they can roll that advantage all the way to last and take a round and just get that snowball effect going, you know?
Yeah, the mid you just described is basically what everyone is doing. You know, it's just actually executing it. The main way that the teams lose Snakewater middle is that they have a soldier bomb in, he gets picked off, then the second soldier comes in and he gets picked off, and then the scout runs across the point and gets picked off. And it just doesn't happen simultaneously. It's all about getting that timing down and just focus firing and making sure that you're all just syncing up your aggression really effectively. And that's not really just an easy thing. It's a matter of actually hitting your shots and hitting the right things and coordinating with your team. So, I'm looking forward to that. Also, I will mention, I don't know if Kratos still does this, but he used to just run into his own kitchen and just sit there. And just wait. He'd just literally sit there until someone walked in there, and then he'd two-shot him.
To be fair, if there's a scout that has the ability to do that, it is obviously Credu. This man is a machine on the scout class. He's a Kovacs aim trainer god, and this man just doesn't miss. He's just insane. Like, he's so good at the game, I cannot stress it enough. But also, following him up as well, Thomas, who's had less seasons in Prem than Credu has had, but is showing an equally good showing. This man has been improving season upon season, and just generally getting better the whole time he's been playing. So I've got to give a shout out to Thomas as well for his scouting abilities. I would be scared in this game against the Scouts of Ascent. They are real powerhouses, and if you are to see a Scout Uber, you are going to be crying and quaking in your boots.
Yeah, it's I don't think there's a scout in Europe that has better aim than Credu. I still think Tiger probably is better overall, but Credu still has better aim than Tiger.
Hey! Let's not knock off Captain. You know, this man's coming in and playing the scout class now. He's a machine. You don't know. I haven't actually watched Captain play scout yet. I played with him in a mix when he was on scout and he destroyed. But that's apart from that.
Yeah. I think he's been okay. Like he actually has played Scout on Viaduct a couple of times in officials, where they were being like serious and everything. So it's not like he can't play Scout. Obviously he can. He's good at aiming. You know, you don't become one of the best soldiers ever by not being able to aim. No, not really a big surprise there. But I haven't watched a whole lot of it. But I've seen some logs and he seems okay.
He seems okay. He seems good. We are getting a ton of players in the server beta, and it looks like we may be going eventually, kind of soon, because we've got 12 in the server. So, any predictions for Snakewater before we get going? Score lines specifically.
Yeah, let's not be non-specific. That's boring. I'm gonna guess that we're gonna see a 5-2 score for Ascent. I think it's gonna be relatively slow, and then eventually 6 are gonna come back in and get a bunch of rounds, and then Ascent are gonna do a little spurt at the end to make it not close.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see. I think we'll see a 6-1. I reckon that's what we'll see. I think we'll see some good aggression in the beginning, come out of 6. They'll go in, they'll hit up some good frags, they'll win the first mid, and they'll be like, right, boys, go into the second mid. Then they'll get wiped 6 times in a row and get rolled to last every single time.
Yeah, quotas if we're right. Otherwise, just forget about it.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, welcome to the Lockdown Throwdown Tournament, the indoors online event to replace Copenhagen Games. Rest in peace. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you are washing your hands at home, and make sure you are following social distancing measures and whatever your government has told you to do. Just do it. You're keeping people safe, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in this evening. It just shows that you're staying indoors and being an introvert, and that's the kind of people that we love here at Critzcast.
Absolutely. It's very important. Stay safe more than anything else. And I also just do a big shout out to the whole app and team and everyone at basically the Copenhagen Games Discord, Phoenix. The way Lasse has just gotten servers and written like a neat little program and just made it super easy for the admins to get connect info and everything for everyone. It's just super awesome. Like just the speed at which he's done that is incredible. And then of course there's all the admins like Henny and DCS, and I want to say there's one more, but I can't remember right now. But all those guys have just been doing a killer job. DCS is the one who set up the whole format thing, which works fantastically. Like, you guys don't understand how much he had to actually rack his brain to come up with a format that actually worked, because we figured we'd get like 20, 25 signups for this tournament, and then DCS was like, yeah, sure, I can have that. That's fine, that's easy. And then a couple of days pass, and all of a sudden we've got like 75 teams. I think it just slowly dawned on him what the hell he signed up for.
Yeah, I mean, these guys doing a great job. Day in, day out, these guys are here for us, playing and watching Team Fortress 2 on the daily. Really just... They're the guys that hold the community up, honestly, especially when we're casting and commentating. And we are but the talent beater. These guys are the real heroes of the event, so big shout outs to those guys, like you said. Looking forward to this game, though. Super, super excited. I really want to I want to see some crazy frags. I want to see some air shots. I want to see Everex get some hella bombs. I want to see Voxy get meat shots all over the place. But, you know, this is one of the... Also, I forgot to speak about this, but I think Ascent, the reason that they've also picked this map, right, is because they fear Gazi Pyro.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I've seen it, actually. It's not even a joke. He's been super good at it. He just keeps picking people off with that flare gun. It's so obnoxious to play against, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, like, he's... Especially on, like, maps like Gully Wash, where they've had a real rough time dealing with this pyro. Like, just they never ever are able to bomb a soldier like onto them. And one sec, something's going weird. Speak, Beta, speak.
Oh, I'm still here. I was just listening to you talk, but
my game's gone weird a sec.
It's very rare to see a pyro on Snake Alliance. You can do it on the shutter door on the left side when you're holding last, but if they don't push that way, you're a pyro super far away from spawn, and you're not going to be very helpful, most likely. So it's very unusual to actually see a pyro. Like, you really need to have them figure it out if you're going to do that. So yeah, if you're afraid of a pyro, Snakewater is a good pick here. and also, like, they also banned product, and I think that's just respecting the Kratos sniper, because 100% he's just going to perma snipe on that, and he is probably the best sniper in the game.
Yeah, this man's a machine. Looks like Ascent are now calling the other team out for being scared, and they're talking about strats and stuff, and they fear. But looking at the other brackets real quick, we've got Valorant, which have just beaten... I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
Come on, do it. Try.
Hang on.
Putting you on the spot.
I can't see the full name on the bracket. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah. This is important. I tried it as well, and my first task was, of course, to just open up a page where I had, like, the entire team have actually be able to written out, because it is so damn long. They've actually outdone themselves this time with a name that is completely unpronounceable. And guys, please stop. Please.
I want to call them LCC, but it's Le Cuniculetier Comics. I can't do it.
That's perfect. Well done.
Nice. For those of you at home, I'm going to copy paste this one into the chat so you can have a go at saying it yourself, but it's not impossible.
I want to say it's a tongue twister, but like I asked Olga what it meant, and he said it doesn't mean anything. So they're literally just making a name to make it unpronounceable. That's their only goal. I feel like we're being sabotaged.
Yeah. We're being purposefully sabotaged by these teams, especially like what is it? Teams like Torrent Suck in Toes, where we're like, can we say this? Turns out we can, but it's just a very like off the cuff kind of name where we're questioning why they've done this to us.
Yeah, dude, I like in their donation thread or like the fundraiser thread, they of course said that they were going to make a really weird name. I'm guessing this is the name that they were talking about, and I pleaded with them to not do it, and that just made everyone angry. It was a very unpopular comment. It's like the only downvotes I've ever got on TFTV. It's like, no, we want
anyway.
this.
Yeah, as well though, they managed to beat the Finns, and Valorant's managed to beat Virtus.pro. So the Frenchies will be playing against each other. Obviously, Super Buckwell beat Boynical 2-0. So once those two French teams decide that they're going to play against each other, then we'll see who goes in to play against Super Buckwell, aka Old 7. So what do you reckon about this matchup between Lecune and Valorant? Which team do you reckon is going to take the breadwinner on this one?
I would wait, against who?
The two French teams. I'm just talking about the other bracket. Oh, as we're going live. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that one's done, right?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to the Lockdown Throwdown Tournament. We are watching a game between Six and Ascent.EU. Good luck, have fun in the chat from both sides. We are just seeing these two Domo make their way in towards mid. Smear and Lucas just going to be trading off a couple stickies here and there. Like I said before, just going to be doing the sticky trade. Smear now sticky in the top right corner. Gink looking like he's getting ready to do some kind of jump from the top right side. Just spamming that top right area against Nubby there. Just spamming a couple rockets as we see Nubby going for the first bomb. We've also got Everex taking that high ground on the right side. Nubby's just going in deep on towards Domo. Domo's super weak there. Nearly goes down on a slither of HP. We are seeing Everex get counterbombed now by Pappy. And it is just going to be their Gaz moving forwards and picks up the first button to Creddy. Lucas Tank also getting taken down there by Smear as he's sticking him out. Smear trading his life away to Pappy.
Oh, Fox Tech's going to chase down this medic.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
He's got a beat on him.
Oh, he got him! Incredible! Manages to find Domo in the lobby area now. Tomas going to go for some kind of salvage play. Running up on top of that fence area now. Just trying to take the 1v1 versus Everex. Getting so much space for the soldier, which let him away. Gets the drop! Oh my god, it's already a corker of a game.
He did not see that soldier coming in. They were so focused on this guy that they didn't see the soldier. And Gig, he just finds his way in there. And that's the first drop already for him. You know, we talked about how good he is. And yeah, it shows already. Jesus Christ. So this second point is actually in danger of being lost at this point. And I think that's going to happen just because the heals are so superior on the Ascent side. They're going to be able to come out here. I don't see anyone in the immediate vicinity. Actually, they might just go in here for grass.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to want to dry push this one in there, sending Nubby in on towards Bat, a great space creator right now, spamming down on towards Lucas Tank. Oh, the air shot from Nubby! This man is a machine, the NS is out in the chat, Domo is already low, gets scat guns down. He does pick up the frag on Box Tech as he gets the pistol whip kill, as we see Gink bombing into Jorge. Jorge with a very nice little airstrike there to dodge that rocket. He does survive. No cap coming out from the side of Ascent, but Nubby just carrying that fight.
That was absolutely fantastic. Just that jump in. I feel like the main thing that Nobby just really succeeds at is Kratos just running rings around him here. Is that he just survives for so long, but when you also just survive for that long, but do a ton of damage with it, that's just incredible. And there you go. Kratos finally gets taken down. Just runs around a corner and finds himself in front of a soldier. So it's going to be a full advantage here. Or he's just holding this. He needs to not run into a sticky trap, but other than that, this should be a perfect time for a push.
Yeah, they just use through lower, don't want to deal with any sniper shenanigans that could happen. Everex is bombing against Ging, getting him off that high ground. Sticky's been down on the point. They do lose Voxtech and Gazzy, so no scouts on the side of 6. Going to make it incredibly hard for the scouts to run up, but Smear on the point, yeah, with the pain train. Does count that one out. It's going to be 1-0 to the side of 6, exactly as I predicted.
Yep, that was perfectly predicted for sure. You should be a caster. That's amazing. Yeah, that was everyone on the set was just kind of stuck on their own side there on their point, and they didn't have any stickies on it. That got cleared out really quickly, almost 7 style, where they just killed the stickies immediately, and then they just got on it and kept everyone away from it. So 1-0 here for 6. Great start for them.
Second mid-fight coming in. Credit eats an early pipe there as Smear just hits a very crispy air pipe. We are seeing a bombing soldier come in now, but we are seeing the jaw bomb come out. They just land so much damage into this choke point, getting rammed down by these soldiers. And Smear Nubby on a slither of HP is going to shoot down at Domo. He got a little bit cheeky there. Domo is insanely low, going to get flanked now. Is just going to get absolutely pincer maneuver, but Tomas! Oh my god, he destroyed Everex there, but it's going to be now a chase now from Gazzy, and they are going to be able to escape here, it would appear.
That was incredible movement right there for Domo. He was very weak, but he just barely managed to find his way around the rockets, just weaving outside of their splash range, and then just hiding behind the rockets to say perfect time. And now it's going to be this counter push in here with the nice heals as well. And I think they might just be able to do it. This soldier bomb in is so potent, and they have definitely pushed everyone off of the point. But the people are in behind Nobby. He could definitely cause some trouble. This scout up on the high ground as well, being very difficult to deal with, but slowly but surely, it looks like Ascent have just pushed them back, but oh no, they just collapse all of a sudden there. Just barely goes too weak, and they just have to just give this up.
Yeah, they didn't deal with the soldier on Bats, and they're now coming in with the Uber. Looks like they want to take an Uber tray while they got players down on the side of 6. Smear nearly actually dies there, but Gink bombing in to try and find those scouts, doesn't find them and dies for his struggles. And Smear now getting low on the high ground as Jorge had to flash a couple scouts, but they have managed to get in on this last with 1 player advantage. Nubby now going in for the high bomb in towards Domo. And gets the air shot onto him as well, takes him down. Everex now on the cleanup as well. It's going to be Gazzy on the point, facing up against 2 scouts. Just going to be Jorge left alive, unfortunately, as they couldn't find it all. Oh, unfortunate there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a 4K for creative, but man, that was a really nice bomb in there. Just getting the perfect pop-up of the medic and getting down, but that's not enough, unfortunately. Just well, it's very often when you have scouts remaining alone, in a fight like that, the scout will just win the protracted fight, and that's what we saw right there. And it feels wrong to try to focus a scout because they can just run away. This is kind of where their power comes from. But they're actually just going to move in here into middle. It's full on teams, and there's actually a giant flank going for the back cab as well. And so far, Ascent, they have got one pick, but I think they've sensed this backup coming.
Oh yes, the flanking demo man, not usually the most effective class at going for a back cap, and has been taken out there with ease, dispatched by Cruddy, who's currently on a killing spree on the 5k, and they are going to have to retreat out of this mid now as they've got ondkaja just bombing through, getting all of that space for his team, and it's just going to sticky them out now so they can get this mid cap going. We are seeing some forward spawners, Everex picking up that forward spawn. Smear and Gazzy looks like they are only just going to get this forward spawn. They do manage to catch that one, and we have still got them on scout and demo in the forward spawn, looking like they're going to have to back spawn. ondkaja pressuring super hard, nothing bombing forwards though. They do manage to get on the forward spawn. The coordinated aggression here, they take down Domo there, Everex with a bomb, Cruddy now on the 6k, he picks up that Everex frag on the denial. Thomas now trying to take this 1v1 low, Cruddy finally gets taken down, ending that killing spree. Was on the 7k, took down Nubby. ondkaja on a 7 HP on grass now, gets a problem to Jorge. That could be huge, as we've now got flanking players coming in onto Jorge, and they do get the force off the back of that pipe that came out from ondkaja.
That was very like heavy pressure there. That bomb in from Everex just, I think it was like some sync rockets as well because of the velocity that he came in with. It's not like a perfect sync or anything, but the way that it works as a medic is that you know how quickly a soldier can shoot a rocket. So if you get hit by a rocket, you kind of internally know how long you have to react. But when they sync it up just a little bit, the time it gets thrown off, and that's what we saw. Oh, Smear, he didn't. I don't think he actually got arrowed there. Actually, will trade with Lucas, so that's really good. But Jorge, he's going to have to run. It's only him alive, and nice jump in there for Poppy, but not quite going to be able to get onto him. And this is really important. Right now, they have the medic advantage, they have the Uber advantage, but they don't have the man advantage. So it's a very uneven situation right now for both of these teams. It's probably going to go down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. They did not get their forward spawners. They got 3 back spawn on the side of 6. This would be a perfect opportunity to start setting up for a sack attempt on this mid. Looks like we have actually got Gink just chilling out on the catwalk area. Looks like he could try and go for something, but they're just going to opt to spam and just get out of this mid and just give it up. And it looks like they are going to be continuing their retreat back into the second. Nubby now just clearing out lower, trying to spot some sticky traps for his team. They are going to be checking Saw. Like I said before, you've got to be worried about these sticky traps coming out from either side. And Voxy now just spotting for his team, just spotting a bunch of players. Gink getting taken down.
Nice.
There, gets shot off the pipe. Nice there. Smith also finding the pipe to Pappy. Knows bombing soldiers now. Jorge feeling safe, going to be confidently moving forwards here. Domo picks up his Uber charge, however, and it is going to be even Ubers now. 2 still down there on the side of Ascent. Could be a great opportunity to take this trade. Jorge and, oh no, they dropped Smear on the Uber trade. Everex now going to be receiving that Uber, and they're just going to be getting the hell out of lobby. It's a much better Uber for the side of Ascent.
Yeah, they pushed in with a lot of players right there on 6. I think they got a little bit too eager, but they didn't want to actually push in with that many players. It was just almost impossible. You had to flash 3 players, and it kind of wasted their own momentum there a little bit. But it looks like they have actually managed to force Ascent back here. Just the soldiers just shutting them down in cheese. That's going to be enough to make sure that there's no one on the flank, and that means that everyone from Ascent would be funneled through the choke if they actually tried to push out. So they're going to do the smart thing and walk back. But that whole thing just got opened up by Everex, just jumping the soldier up on the pipe. That's a bit of an unusual thing to jump and focus down. But you know, sometimes it's just a matter of focusing down anything to give you an advantage, and then just the man advantage is going to be enough for you to actually win the fight. And yeah, looks like we're going to see Thomas on some sniper.
Oh, they do try and get on top of him. Novi there just escaping very nicely. The stickies were dead on the right hand side there from ondkaja, who did have some stickies in the bucket, but unfortunately did not catch Nubby there with those. And he's just going to be sticky in the top left corner, and they have opted for the iron hold of the sentry gun in the middle of the point. Obviously we've seen a few iterations of this hold in the past, but this seems to be becoming meta as Nubby gets taken out by Gink in lobby. What do you think about the sentry in the middle? It's so hard to defeat.
Oh, it's so good. I think you should always have it. It's pretty much the perfect, and Smear actually goes down. That's huge. That means that there's going to be a lot of space there. Unfortunately, Poppy goes down, so he's not going to be able to jump in there, but they are going to be able to just have Thomas. He's super far forward. He actually gets jumped there.
Jorge forces to ondkaja. ondkaja piped up from the low ground in Africa and managed to get him to force the Uber, so it's now full Uber advantage to the side of Domo. But They did lose 3 for their triples. Credu and Thomas on long respawners. No one's going to be there to save the sentry gun. If it gets spammed up by a soldier, Everex now peeking that corner, getting a ton of rockets off, and it does get taken down there. They're moving in towards last. Voxy now just running in so deep. They managed to get all this room in, and Domo just uses straight away without taking any damage there at all. Pappy now running forwards with the Uber. Credu finding Everex as well. They've just found frags with this Uber. It's actually ended up being a very strong Uber. Smear low does receive an arrow from Jorge though, and they're going to be retreating out on grass. The chase is already on. Bombing soldiers coming in towards Smith. Smith gets taken down as well. Nice aggression coming out from Ascent.
That's what I call a momentum Uber, where you don't really, you're not popping to save anyone, you're popping to make sure that nobody has to stop. You just keep walking forward, you don't even have to think about it, and yeah, this is kind of what you see. It gains you all that nice forward momentum. It just means that you get a fight completely on your own terms, but we're actually going to have an Uber coming into this kitchen, it looks like. They do manage to get the cap point out, and the medic has also slipped out, so Domo, he saw that coming for a long while. Credu is caught in, he's going to get taken down. Everex will manage to trade a little bit here, but actually Voxec and Gassy both going to get a kill here, and all of a sudden this looks so good for 6. What an Uber actually that's just coming out there.
Yeah, it was a pretty incredible Uber. Both soldiers are dying on the backline there. They did manage to get a huge amount of delay on the rest of the team, but they both traded themselves for it. If it was just Gink that died, it would have been a little bit stronger, but full Uber advantage to Domo. Of course, they've been pushed back to last, and Nubby is actually in drop down now, and he might have to... they've spotted him. Gink spotted him, and he's on last currently. He's going to be capping up this point. One time's on the point and is going to trade out there with the soldier. We've got the rest of the fight occurring in second now, as we have got the rest of the team just on. Okay, runs and he gets the cap from Gazzy. Incredible gameplay. That is going to be 2-0. My prediction is in the bin.
Oh, well. I would have forgotten about it if you hadn't mentioned it. But yeah, definitely Ascent is going into this as the favorite, as the TF2 champion for sure. But 6, you know, they show that it's not a coincidence that they actually finished first in the season. The 2-0, some sneaky back caps going in there. So Nobby, again, we were praising him, and it seems like it was actually justified. Doing really well, good work so far.
We are seeing early bombs coming out from the side of Ascent, and they do find Gazzy super early. Lucas Tank, though, getting traded out there as the scout just runs across the point. They do find Domo as well. They're super safe now for Jorge, although he is getting collapsed upon by both soldiers. Nice little wiggles from Jorge there just to dodge so many rockets. Heard them in his peripheral, and Thomas now... Oh, Smear with the pipe to pick him up! Pipes him in the toes, and Credu is going to be last on the
wall hacking. Actually wall hacking. There's nothing. It feels so good on demo, man, when you just perfectly predict where they're gonna run out, and they just run out an insta die to a pipe that just shouldn't be there, like pre-firing pipe, just dirty. And that was a perfect example. I'm glad he even called it. That's wonderful. So yeah, once again, full Uber advantage. 6, they're just really... Oh, never mind. No Uber advantage at all. That was a sticky trap from Lucas Tank. That changes everything.
This is Caster's Curse, is what it is.
Yeah, I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Anyway, yeah, full Uber advantage now. Well, not full Uber advantage. They've got a 70% Uber advantage on the side of Ascent. They haven't even got the super yet, but we are seeing Gazzy drop down to Domo's face. A nice pipe from Lucas Tank just to keep him up there. It's going to be Nubby now in cheese. Going to be bombing onto Domo. Does get the rocket, but a nice arrow from Domo to save his own life. And he's going to be able to get a health pack now, get nice and healthy, and it's going to start moving towards mid. They've got 90% Uber now, Beta. They're going to be heading in. This should be a relatively free take for them coming into this mid.
Yeah, they need to make sure that they don't drop anyone to a sticky trap. You know, Smear is up, so they need to make sure that that doesn't happen. I don't actually see the sticky trap. Okay, there was one on the crate. They spotted that out. That's fine, and they're not even going to stop on mid. They just want to keep on walking forward here. I kind of like this. Jorge is almost on an Uber. So if they're too slow, they're not actually going to get in here. This soldier's going to go super aggressive. Poppy's kind of alone in here. And Jorge now does have his own Uber. The Uber has been forced out, but they lose Lucas for it.
Yeah, seemingly like they're not really on the same page, but they also lose Smear on the side of 6. It's just going to be Thomas and Domo running away here, but Domo gets cleaned up. That's going to be a full wipe. From the side of Ascent, and it's giving some opportunities now for 6 to make their way into mid. They're going to get this cap going. Pappy and Lucas Tank on the forward spawn, obviously dying super early during that last fight. It just appeared that on second there, they were really not on the same page. Lucas Tank went one way, the Uber went another way, and they ended up dropping him on the Uber. Lucas Tank actually getting dominated by 2 players there, really showing that he's died quite a few times in this game.
Indeed, and this is kind of the thing with the Snake Water is it's just such a long map. So when you have these kind of small advantages, it could be very difficult to actually push on them. on another map like Gollywash, that would have probably been enough to take second. But here, Jorge actually managed to get his Uber up, and instead they managed to just Uber back in on them. And as you said, it seemed a little bit disjointed there. Voxy's going to go in super aggressively, trying to buy space, but instead he's just going to die out. Everex again tried to bomb that soldier up in the pipe, but the soldier was gone this time around. They might have wisened up, and then Smear goes down. This has been completely rebuffed by Ascent, and he still needs to be a little bit careful. If they get too close with their medic, they're just going to get Ubered on. But I think so far this situation looks very good for Ascent.
Yeah, Pappy trading well in Saw, going to be picking up a load of damage for his logs. Also driving a soldier low. They do actually get the force off as Everex gets taken down there, and Credu is just going to be running in there. Does get two-shot by Gazzy, and we now once again we've got Nubby and Gazzy, the wombo combo, going to be running in towards second. Pressuring now for backhand, creating so much room. Lucas Stank actually dying there, and Domo has to use in order just to save Tomas. Smith super far forwards, but Jorge going to be surviving this entire fight. He ran the hell out of mid a year ago and is out with Voxtech. Out towards second now. Going to have that Uber advantage coming up for him. Only a 20% advantage, but definitely maybe something they can think about pushing on.
Absolutely. It's you know, it doesn't matter what the Uber percentages are as long as they're under 100. And that's kind of the thing with it. Actually, they're going to take down Papa here in Cheese, and I think that's going to mean that they're going to start moving forward. The Domo's trying to put them out there, but Tomas, he's actually going to survive this. So this push out has not worked out for 6 right here. I feel like it was a pretty good decision to go for it, but the fight just didn't quite work out for them. And then maybe jumping a single soldier in there onto the combo was not worth it. I think it would have been better off just on the flank there. So a small mistake from Nobby. He is fallible, it seems. Yeah. Ascent, they're actually trying to push in here. They don't have Uber, but they're just trying to see if they can get in there and force the Uber out of Jorge, but not able to find an opening.
Yeah, not going to be able to get anywhere, and no soldiers available to go for that bomb, and not enough pressure coming out here, as we do see Gazzy now pick up the sentry gun. A really good time there, as he was fully overhealed, so he knew that he could pick up that gun and keep it full HP, so he could keep it on that low ground as iGink was pressuring it. Super big brain plays coming out from Gazzy there as he places the dispenser on the ground as well. Going to be pumping up the rest of the additional heals to his team. Unspoken true hero of the engineer class, the dispenser headshot armor as well. I reckon that we're going to see a sack come out from one of these players on the side of Ascent any time now, and then we'll see some sniping action coming out.
I remember how the sentry died last time. There was they spammed it down from low. They're actually going to spam it down right now, but he actually put the dispenser in the way of the spam. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Of course, the sentry can't shoot at them either, if that goes in. Gink's going to try to get in with the suicide, and so does Poppy. Gink has already died, but Poppy, he's still alive, but he might not be for long. There we go. Ooh. Gets picked off.
Unfortunately here, not going the way that they were hoping. Just trying to get a couple frags in the lobby. Does end up in a little bit of disaster. Domo in a rather precarious position. Getting spammed out by 2 soldiers and a demo man. Has to use, gets forced on the low ground just because he was stood in a pretty poor position. And now they're going to be running in left. They're not going to find anything with this one. It's too far gone for them. And they are going to be running away here. Jorge dropped his Uber, in fact, there at some point now. I didn't even spot that one. And they are going to be now bombing in nice and deep. And it is Lucas Tank just jumping on top of Smith. Smith getting insanely low, gets cleaned up immediately. We've got Gazzy Pyro, but unfortunately it goes down like we were talking about before. The sight range too long, and Ascent is going to manage to get around here. It's 1-2 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking drop right there. And that's going to mean that Ascent will be able to rise that up. They're not going to be... This might just be the push that Ascent need to come back into this, because they've been looking really rough so far. And I think it might just be that 6 had a better warm-up than Ascent did, where like Ascent didn't really get pushed, whereas 6 they really got pushed by Nerd Rage. That was a very good game and very close, a lot closer than the score might even suggest. So Ascent, they on the board.
They are now bombing in as well with iGink and directly into Saw, like I spoke about before, but Gazzy's there with the counterplay. Everex now finding a frag onto Credu, and both scouts are down for the side of Ascent. Domo insanely low as well. Is going to have to retreat out here. Smear wanting to take this 1v1 versus Domo on a slither of HP, and Domo does manage to escape Saw there with Lucas Tank, but Everex now coming in with a high bomb, does find the rocket against the wall, however, and Voxy going to be running in. Lucas Tank self-damages himself with a pipe, but Smear kills himself because he gets arrowed by Domo trying to go for that jump. It just frags himself, and this could actually be huge. No Demo Man on the second point to help defend them against this onslaught now coming out from the centers. They're running across from bridge. Just going to be pressuring them off of grass. 2 scouts now taking a 2v1 versus Creddy. They do pop out the Uber. It's going to be an Uber trade, but unfortunately Gazzy gets dropped on this trade. It's an awful trade for the side of Red Team. And Gink is going to be bombing in nice and deep, along with Pappy. Tomas getting picked up, however, by a pipe from Smear. And they are going to be able to go back and recap this point. 1 down for either side, but it's going to be Gazzy spawning first. Tomas on a long spawner.
Yeah, Nobby even lost the fight on the flank, but he's going to now jump in here behind. You saw that work before. Second soldier comes in. That was actually EverX behind, and that's a massive soldier bomb. Domo has gone down. Jorge as well. But this definitely looks like 6 are just going to take this. Lucas, there's no way he's surviving this. He's just getting chased down by scouts. Box is on a 6k. Thomas definitely trying to put up a sentry gun, but he's going to have to hurry. His little fat engineer Texan ass, and nope, not going to make it upwards.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Putting up a sentry gun that late, maybe just staying on whatever class you had might have done damage, but it's a big ask, especially when you're in that situation. Just well played there from 6. As soon as they lose Jorge, they just bomb their entire team and find more frags than they were hoping for, clean them up, or go all the way to last and just make it around on the board. It's 3-1 for the side of 6. And doing a great job in this game, picking up on Ascent map pick, so really being a little bit controversial here as we come to the next mid-fight. Lucas Tank and Smear going to be trading out Sticky. Smear actually losing out on this trade. Does receive an arrow nice and early. Domo now coming into the mid with heals. We are seeing a bombing soldier come in, they clean up Box Tech immediately. Nice little bomb there as Nubby also craters. Domo getting taken down, however, by Nubby as he did find the rocket. Lucas Tank getting taken down as well by a pipe. EverX finding frags onto Pappy. And they are going to be now pressuring on towards grass where Jorge is residing. Gink and
Smear?
looking. What is he doing? Okay, he's dead.
Yeah, I thought, why is he in alone? But no, he was actually behind lines. No, I was thinking that 6, they were going to just come in here because they have their medic alive, and obviously they're going to have the Uber advantage, they're going to have heal advantage, and they had like 4 players alive, but it turns out that Smear was actually caught behind lines. So that was not really a possibility here. So they do still have the super advantage. I think they're just waiting for Smear to come back into it, and then they're going to go for the push. But this is Snakewater. We saw it before. If you're not fast enough, you're just going to end up pushing into an enemy Uber yourself. And they are ahead, so this might not be worth the risk, but I know, don't listen to me, it looks like they look like they want to push.
I love these soldier positionings coming out from the side of Ascent. They're holding super close and getting so much spam down into these choke points, and they're now going to be able to jump out, and the spam makes it easy enough to pick up that frag onto Nubby. The Sticky's precariously placed there from Lucas Tank on the logs, on the high ground. They've got the Sticky's on the left side as well, dealing a ton of damage here. EverX gets taken down from a long-range pipe, and Domo finds his Uber charge. This could be huge now. There's not enough cap time for the side of 6 really to get this camp going without having to take an Uber trade. Also going to be Gazzy going down here. Smear gets piped down. The Uber finally gets popped from Jorge, but they've dropped too many players, and it's not going to be enough now, and they're going to have to run out of this one. It's going to be Domo with 100% Uber advantage coming in towards second beta.
Yeah, that was you know, having Lucas in that spam war is super nice. It's a good example here. Actually, Soda tried to get onto the medic here, but no, not going to make it in there. Poppy goes super weak, but he's not that consequential right now, this very moment. So they're fine. Looks like they're actually just going to go in on last here. This is where the Gassy Pirate would be good on right side push, but they're just going to win. Oh no, the center gun's not even up.
Oh my god, pop from Lucas Tank! Takes down 2 in the shutter door. They're going to destroy this sentry gun immediately as well, taking that one down. Bombing soldier from Nubby coming out of the right-hand side shutter. Big ballsy move from him, but does get taken down there. Vox Tech going to be on the heavy, but it's not enough. And it is going to be 2-3 to the side of 6, still in the lead. However, they are making a round back.
That was incredible work there by Lucas, just bombing forward, just shutting off the shutter door. You can't escape. You're in this fight whether you like it or not. And they just got sent right into the respawn queue. Absolutely incredible there. And just a really good push in there from us. And it was an Uber advantage, so they were definitely favored already, but that jump just clinched it for sure. And now Ascent, they're breathing down the neck of 6.
Yeah, it's looking rough for them now. Maybe they're feeling the pressure a little bit here as we are seeing Creddy now running across the point at Smear, just not getting pressured at all. Smear not even looking at him, however. And it's going to be Gazzy taking that 1v1. EverX and Co managed to go down. And Smear getting cleaned up here by Gink. Nice little collapse from him. We have got 2 scouts left alive on the side of Ascent. However, they're going to be running away. But Nubby is on the flank and is going to be trying to clean up Domo. But Domo manages to hop, skip, and jump away with Tomas in tow on the beam connected up. And they're going to be running out in towards lobby. And both teams managed to keep their meds alive on these mids.
Yeah, barely. Domo could have definitely died there in that mid if he was he has slightly worse movement. But he's going to make it out of there. That was a very interesting mid. I thought just the way that they bombed in there, and it didn't really work out, and so eventually they just had to retreat. But yeah, I like that. It seemed like they've been mixing it up. you very often see that the mids kind of go the same way when you have a bunch of rounds like this. But then eventually, or not eventually, but in this match, it seems like they just keep mixing it up and they keep readjusting as this Uber actually comes in.
Yeah, there's an Uber trade coming out. They drop Smear again! Very unfortunate there on the side of the red team. Not going to have a demo man for this one. Stickies are still in Saw. Not getting cleaned up yet. The flank scout now comes in to try and deal with them as they do not get Det in time to pick up Jorge. And it's going to be Everex now. Going to be the one that dies here. It's going to be 2 down for the side of 6. This is going to be a huge opportunity. No spam classes. Voxtech getting taken down as well by some stickies from Lucas Stank. He's going to be bombing in on this mid. Down towards Jorge. Unfortunately, he doesn't find the sticky as he gets clipped on the roof there. Nubby is now hiding though on the sniper class. In lower, actually. They haven't spotted him. He does spot Lucas Tank. He's not sniping him. This discipline, trigger discipline from Nubby may have been spotted there on the retreat, but he's going to be heading back into the spawn door to swap back onto Soldier. Could have been a huge opportunity there for him.
Yeah, I don't actually understand why he didn't just stay in spawn as a sniper. Just snipe from the door, get someone through the window. That's really a classic move, and then you just switch back to Soldier. Oh well, he just wants to have the spam presence instead, I guess. And
yeah.
It works out. I think Ascent, they're just a little bit too afraid to push on this kind of dot, as we saw early on, because yeah, Snake Water Second is a very long point. It's very difficult to actually get to the enemy medic in time before he manages to build the Uber, but they're just going to try to go for the exchange.
Yeah, it's a nice little exchange here for the side of Ascent. They do get the Uber in first. They want to take these Uber trades. They keep doing this as well. They're really proactive in their approach to this game. Oh my god, tons of damage though from Lucas Tank. That's a huge sticky onto Everex, and he just gets launched across the map. Voxy getting taken down as well. It's going to be Credit running at Nubby. He just does not care. He's playing like OG right now, and they just destroy him on grass. It's going to be Smear now getting pressured heavily in lobby, and he is just having to fight a 1v1 versus Tomas, and he doesn't find the frag onto him. So Tomas there cleaning up that frag. He's going to be running in towards last. It's just going to be Jorge in the spawn door. We've got Everex and Voxy spawning 3 times on the cap. There's going to be a cap that's going to make it 3-3 beater. The comeback is real.
They're unbelievable. They actually made it back. It was really interesting during that Uber, they sent in Poppy behind lines. And usually on Snakewater, that means you just die immediately. But Poppy, he just stayed alive for so long, he managed to do a giant flank in cheese. And off of that whole thing, they actually managed to just come in here. And the reason they're taking these very proactive Ubers is because they're behind. And they actually made it. They did enough to make the comeback possible. And cap off to Ascent is really playing to the event situation there.
Nubby whips his bomb, however, coming in towards this and just gets immediately cleaned up by Tomas. They've figured it out. They know what the source is now on the side of 6, and they are countering it incredibly well. Doma now going to be retreating out to lower, but the entire team has gone down. Smear is the only survivor, and is going to probably get cleaned up here. He does actually jump out, places a sticky on cheese. He's going to be wrapping around. Mind games! He's out through lower beta. He's escaping it towards last. This man is a savant at the juice.
He is so smart. That was really cool, but other than that, that was a terrible mid. That's the only good thing we can say there, that we actually do have the demo man getting out. And I think Ascent might even suspect that he's behind lines or something. And so they might just wait some time looking for the demo man there. But yeah, the double sorted bomb just has no effect right now on mid. It really seems like Ascent, they just warmed up and they've got this all figured out.
Yeah, they do bring the Uber in towards last. They're going to have some cap time, already getting pressure on the point. And it's going to be the Sentry going down, but Gink is the first frag. But Nubby and Everex getting immediately fragged together by Credu and Tomas. Understanding they got denied these soldiers. Tomas finally getting piped down by Smear, but his life was not in vain as Credu manages to clean up the frag. And Smear's going to be 4-3 on the board. Ascent now, 1 minute 23 on the clock. It's going to be a tough time now for the side of 6. They need to get something going if they want to bring it to a golden cap.
Yeah, it's still possible, but they really need to go quick. You can definitely, if you just wipe them out, you can go for this. And so right now, Ascent, I think, luckily for them, the best strat right here is to just play the mid that they've been doing the entire time, where they're just kind of non-committal and don't do anything. But we have Nubby behind lines, and I don't think he's been spotted. Never mind, he has definitely been spotted.
Yeah, he is too low to make anything happen. It's going to be Ascent actually retreating out the mid. They want to stalemate this one. They pick up the frag on Nubby. They're pressuring super hard on Saw. They're holding mega close just to not allow 6 to get any more aggression. They're just going to stalemate this one out, get an Uber charge going, and then by the time they've traded and they can Uber on point, and then that'll be it. It'll be lights out for the side of 6. So very clinical maneuver here coming out from Ascent, just wanting to win this one and keep it as that fat W that they want to achieve as they come in now for the Uber trade. They're getting juggled heavily by up by Lucas Stank. There's not much time on the clock. It's 20 seconds left, and they need to get cap time going now, otherwise it's all over. They are now on grass, however, trying to push in. A little bit disconnected now as Jorge isn't even in. It's going to get pressured heavily by Pappy, and they're all getting cleaned up on this second. Nubby is going to get taken down as well. Nice pipe there from Lucas Stank to take him down before he gets fragged. As Dermot also gets cleaned up there. It's just going to be Voxy left alive. GG's out in chat from Everex is the call. And it is going to be a 4-3 victory to the side of Ascent.
What a comeback by them. That was absolutely incredible. It really seemed like Six just was the better team throughout most of that match. But then all of a sudden it just seems like something clicked in the brains of Ascent. And a few good pushes and a nice medic drop here and there. And then all of a sudden it was just enough for them to actually come back, for sure. But we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Ascent, if they win this, they are on into the grand final. If not, we're going to go to a third map, which will be Gollywash. But first, Sunshine here. Take it away on this mid, Lucky.
Yeah, of course, going into this first mid, we are having dual rollouts here coming in from Flowers. The entire team of Ascent opting to go on this side. But we've got Gink bombing in nice and early in towards Jorge, getting a ton of space for his team. Pappy now following up that bomb. Doesn't find the first rocket, however, onto Jorge. Does manage to clean him up eventually. It's going to be smear pressure towards the show. Just gets cleaned up there by 2 scouts. It's going to be 3 alive on both sides on this mid. But it is a medic surviving for the side of Ascent, so they're going to have an advantage.
That's a full chariot just alive.
He has dual horses. He's got Mustangs going on right now.
Yeah, that's basically the perfect trio to just survive a mid right there. That's what you want. So, Ascent, they bombed in both their soldiers very aggressively. Basically what I was talking about with going in behind. And not quite, the soldiers trying to do the secret spot in choke there. We haven't seen that a whole lot. You need to time it very well before they actually manage to spot it there. Instead, it looks like Ascent are actually just going to go in through this middle, and Gink trying to make it behind line, not quite going to get in there, but he has to spot so much space that everyone from Ascent can just walk in here and take the second, and they still have the advantage to work with as well.
Yeah, looks like they are going to be heading in this top right area. They use throw immediately. Lucas Tank bombing in. Jorge's out of position, however. Unfortunately, that does get cleaned up immediately. Didn't really have much Uber anyway, but it's going to die regardless. Pappy now bombing on the left-hand side, getting a ton of space for his team. We have got Gazzy on his signature glass on the pyro, but Smear has placed these stickies on the point, only just clearing them up. The soldier bombs come in, huge damage on the point, and it's going to be Gazzy, the one that is on the point as well, cleaning up this incredible with a beat. What? He finds 2 in 2 shots and finds the round beater.
He has 1 HP remaining. He had 9 HP when he capped and he was burning. And there was a heavy shooting at him. Well, heavy was like turning towards him. A millisecond later and Kratos would have died there and that would have been a successful hold. But Kratos somehow hits every shot and just barely managed to survive despite being burned and everything. Incredible job by him.
He's seen some shit, man, honestly. Jesus. We've got, okay, so coming to this next mid, we've got Pappy now bombing in once again. Ascent, opting for the same strategy, bombing in towards Jorge as he did eat a couple stickies and choke with Gink. Whipping rockets, Jorge has the wiggles, but on the other side of the map, we've got Everex now bombing into Lucas Tank. He's insanely low. It's just going to be Creddy running across the point again. This man's a machine. Going in towards Gazzy. He's been actually abandoned by his team. He is a child on his own trying to fight against 4 players. Yeah. Gets 2 shot by Voxtech and is out of there.
Yeah, that would have been really smart if he hadn't been spotted, but unfortunately for him, they have really good game sense and they actually can check it out. So again, it was exactly the same mid, but this time around, I think Six, they were just looking for it, and so they managed to have Jorge slightly further back. He did some really nice serves, and he just kind of played it really passively, and immediately they just take down these soldiers, and there wasn't enough damage done to Six that they weren't able to just take the mid very easily there. So nice adjustment from them, and Ascent, they're going to have to rethink the next mid whenever that happens. But do we actually have a Gink? We have Gink hiding in this corner.
Yeah, I spotted this one out. They haven't actually spotted him yet. It looks like Smear's peeking the corner. Smear's peeking super. Okay, he's spotting now. Gets it. Okay, Gink just commits. He's like, okay, you've seen me, but I'm in, and just jumps at him and gets fragged immediately by Voxy. This is going to open up some room now on the left-hand side. Generally, when you get 1 pick, pushing left-hand side where the sentry gun is not is a great way to go about pushing into this last. They just run 2 scouts in. The sentry gun picks up Gazzy, though, as he overstays his welcome. And it's going to be Everex running out there with the pickaxe. Only just survives and is going to be able to escape there. But it's going to be Pappy also getting piped down. Smear getting over-aggressive here. Not connected to any amount of heals whatsoever. Is going to get sticked off by Lucas Tank. Really overextending there. A bit of a misplay from him.
A great job by Ascent of just locking down that far side. It's actually very difficult to do. It's actually Soda's in behind, trying. I think he was looking for the medic, but okay, he just jumped over everyone. All right, Everex just taking a trip of the enemy team, just surveying a bit. We have Thomas on sniper here, waiting for someone to open this shutter door. But, he's being spammed out pretty heavily there. But as I was saying, Ascent, they did a really good job of spamming things out because they don't have that sentry. They've committed quite a lot of people to holding the left side to make sure that nobody gets in there. So only having 2 soldiers and the demo man just spamming that out basically alone, that can be very difficult and challenging without allowing anyone to get through. But they did it.
Yeah, looks like they managed to, now getting towards lobby. Nubby actually gets fragged immediately and they all run back outside. They're like, yeah, now we don't want to be in here. Of course, holding it in lobby is a bit of a scary experience if you are waiting for a soldier to sack into you. Oh, he gets full.
Yeah,
oh, he gets arrowed! He got arrowed by Domo in the air and lived and was like, hang on, how am I alive? Just stood still and then died.
Yeah, his hands were already off the keyboard. He was not ready for that. It probably didn't matter, but yeah, that was kind of funny to look at. So they're actually going to see if they can spam down the center. But there's a pyro. Oh, he gets the reflect. I think that was like a sentry rocket and his own soldier's rocket that just insta-killed Smear right there. He's probably not very happy with that. He went from like being fully buffed to 0 HP in about 0.1 second.
Yeah, we've also, one thing I want to point out is we've got Gink on full shadow burn right now, rocking that black box conch combo. He has got it. He's going to pop the 2, and it looks like they are going to head in here with the 2. They've now used it. They've got the movement speed, they've got the lifesteal, but Gink just runs away from his team, so they're not receiving that benefit of the 2 whatsoever. Gink is just running around in lower, and they're just going to have to retreat out of this. Feels like a little bit of a waste there, a little bit of a miscommunication, as Gink just didn't follow his team in.
Yeah, surely you want to put someone else on the flank there and have your pocket with the combo to make sure, or have Gink just play pocket there with the combo to make sure that everyone gets that speed boost and life gain. But oh well, a bit of an opportunity missed, but not a big disaster either. Solar's going to jump in super aggressively, takes down both teleporters. That's 2 points,
big
baby.
Big frag.
Big frag, yeah. No one's going to be able to teleport 5 feet while he's in the circle, that's for sure.
I mean, one thing you can do as engineer, unspoken rule about engineer is that you put a teleporter next to your medic by the dispenser, and you put the teleporter exit on the other side of the last. And then when they come in to Uber on you or try and take a trade, you just take the teleporter across the last and go back in spawn.
Oh yeah. I kind of like putting the teleporter in the corner as well. Because then you can hide in there as a medic from spam, but then if they get in too close, then they can spam you out and force you, but you just take the teleporter back and you're fine.
Exactly. It's great. It's a good little strategy you can use. It's also good if your team needs to get ammo from the front line. They just, I know it's only a couple seconds safe, but you just hop in the teleport, you go back to spawn, and you're done. But it's going to be Gazzy there deciding that he's going to chirp some sentry gun spam on the sniper class, and it's just going to get rocketed down there by Pappy and does trade his life away. It's going to open up some space now for the side of Ascent to try and send a bit of a sack. They've got Gink still rocking that shadow burn loadout. Is going to be picking up that conch very soon. I think he's getting close to having it as he's done a ton of damage. A nice little air pipe there from Lucas Deck against the wall onto Nubby to clean him up, as he did try to sack in towards Domo but got sentry gun denied it to highly help.
Yeah, that seems like a very optimistic bombing there. It almost seems like he just wanted to change class, because bombing in there with the sentry gun still up and a bunch of people holding right, and a pyro probably as well, like the last time they saw. That doesn't seem like a very likely win then. Oh, look at this. They're going to double off class, it seems. I think, yep, they have both left spawn. We've got a sniper and a spy. This is the perfect strat. If they look forward, they get backstabbed. If they look back, they get sniped. That's the theory, at least. Oh, well.
There you go. Gets a body shot.
Yeah.
Very nice. Picking up Nubby, but we have got Gazzy on Spy, going to be in lower. He's just chilling out there, as they do now pop the 2 on Gink. Looks like they are going to be able to do this one. There's stickies on the shutter, denying the 2 entirely, but Gink is in! He's bombing in nice and deep. The life's still keeping him alive, though. That's the first rocket they find. Smear with it. That's huge. That first rocket healed him up by like 100 HP when he landed on his face.
Come in here on the demo man.
Oh,
takes him down.
Yeah, that's massive there, picking up that frag onto Lucas Tank. But unfortunately now, they have a spy, so the aggression going to be a little bit stunted here. Jorge walking in dangerously past the sniper sightline there. It's just going to retreat back into lobby just to stay a little bit safer, and they decide that they don't want to do this one. They have still, however, got the spy, and this is going to be rough for Gazzy now. They know he's still alive, and it's going to be a rough time.
Yeah, he's not even going to get to the sentry gun, I don't think. Like normally, when you've been spotted as a spy, you just start going for really dumb thing. like low priority targets. Usually that would be the sentry gun or something, so you can just zap that while you jump in a soldier and on a suicide or something like that. But the sentry gun is right next to the medic gun, or to the medic, and that means that that's going to be checked really diligently. It's going to be almost impossible for Gazzy to come in here. I don't really see how he's going to do this, and we actually do see Smear on the lock and load, which I do believe does extra damage. And Lucas gets taken down by the spy.
Oh, okay, that's pretty huge. Just decides he's going to uncloak and revolver. But the lock and load is good against sentry guns because they've realized the sentry gun is the key issue that they're having. So they pick up the lock and load to make it so you can two-pipe the sentry gun. And the faster projectile range is going to make it difficult for Thomas to reflect those projectiles away from the sentry gun. But Nubby there getting cleaned up there as he comes in. And this is going to halt the aggression. They are going to decide that they're going to get the hell out of lobby as they were taking a ton of damage. Smear is half HP. Is going to be escaping out there. We've still got, I believe, Gink is now off banners. Actually, no, I see a banner on his back. Is that Battalion's? He's on Battalion's backup.
Yep. You know, if you don't succeed with the first banner, maybe try the other one. It's definitely easier to make it through a sticky door if you have damage resistant as opposed to lifesteal. It's you know, it doesn't matter how much you leech if you just take 160 damage or something immediately.
Yeah. I mean, we had a conversation the other day about the reliability of using Battalion's backup, because obviously you've just got the effect the whole time. You don't need to land shots like you do with the conch, but obviously the Battalion's backup taking a little bit longer. Smear gets cleaned up by the sentry gun, overextends there. We've got Pappy just leaping into lobby, does get the force into Jorge, and he does pick up the health pack, however, on Voxy, and Jorge doesn't get it, so he's going to be low after this Uber, and they are just going to retreat out of lobby. It's going to be full Uber advantage to the side of Domo, as we do have the Battalion's backup too coming out.
Yeah, and there's also a spy. I don't think actually they suspected. Like, you can see this pyro, he's not flaming things. That probably means that they're not suspecting the spy. So we might see Nobby come in here. He's going to have one good shot at this. I don't know if he requires any kind of distraction. Actually, Ascent are just not pushing with the Uber advantage. Oh, never mind. Respect.
They are just going to sit on last, it looks like, and just chill out. They're just not doing anything at all. They just want to sit here for the rest of the game, it would appear. I mean, is it zero minutes on the clock for you? Or is that just my game being broken?
That's sure. There's about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, my game is just busted. Okay. But they're probably looking for a round reset here, I think. It's probably easier for them to take a round reset and get back to mid than it is to do it again.
Yeah, and they are ahead, obviously. So they don't have a whole lot to lose here by not pushing. Oh, Smear, he's going to go in very aggressive. This is actually a disaster. Holy hell.
This Uber is so bad. It just gets absolutely annihilated.
Oh, what a target.
Oh my god, the two rockets air-shotting Jorge and last there. Very unfortunate as Gink is going to have more banner built up. They didn't even use the Uber. They are very content to sit on this last. Although they could push all the way through, but they just don't want to risk the back cap that could come out. There's plenty of spots on Sunshine to get a back cap from, and they know that, and they are not wanting to risk it.
I think this was a bait. I think they purposely did a really shitty Uber to bait Ascent into pushing. And
it was the plan all along, and they are just yeeting it into last now. They just don't care. They know it's going to go to a round reset, so they may as well throw their lives away. They do find the sentry gun, and they all just run in, but they all just perish immediately as they're all standing on the point here. They are getting some cap time, but it is just going to go straight to overtime and go straight to a round reset.
Yeah, Ascent, they were not going to move from that last point for any reason at all. And, I mean, it kind of pays off. They're going to get 2 points out of it, as in, like, 2 cap points. They're going to get middle and second.
Yep, and it seems like now we are having another mid-fight come out there. So I believe that was a smart maneuver coming out from Ascent. They saw the clock ticking down. They didn't want to risk a back cap. They really want to secure this game, playing to win it.
Let's see what Ascent does on this mid, because last time that they bombed in 2 soldiers, it did not work out. And it only barely worked out in the first round.
Yeah, they are sending Nubby actually in behind into Cafe, and they are probably going to just wrap around into them and to try and make something happen. Everett's going for the bomb first. Does find Gink as they do not bomb their soldiers this time. Pappy's just lurking in Cafe. Credo's taking them off with Gazzy, and is losing it. Doma gets taken down there in the corner, but Nubby and Jorge, Everett and Smear all going down at the same time, getting massively cleaned up there by Pappy, who flanked them from Cafe, and it's just going to be Gazzy now on the point, having to fight against 2 scouts there. Doesn't win that one. It's going to be Voxtech now on his own Cafe. Is going to have to retreat and get the pack and run away.
Alert. The
I kind of feel like Ascent had a bad mid, and somehow they just won it anyway. It seemed like Nobby got in behind, and he just stayed behind, and he did a ton of damage because Ascent were getting pressured back into their own flower, and they were just running into the flank. And somehow they just managed to just fight it out. And I guess that's just the benefit of having super good DM.
Yeah. I mean, have you... one thing I want to point out as well. Have you seen the sticky trap come out from Smear on the right-hand side by Cafe? It's beautiful.
Like in the window?
It's on the window, yeah. It's a really weird angle when you're coming through Cafe to try and look up at it, because there's obviously no clipping with damage through that little windowsill, so you can deal damage through it. As Pappy decides he's going to bash his head on the ceiling there twice in a row, and is just going to run away.
Yeah, just going to inspect the building quality on that little arch there. I guess he was satisfied with that.
Yes, very good. My forehead can hit it and it doesn't break, it's good.
Yeah, doesn't matter how much you pump into it. Well,
yeah, we've got a bit of a stalemate going on here, ladies and gentlemen, just between these two teams. It is even Ubers currently. And what do you reckon we're going to see Beta coming out from either side here to try and bust this stalemate? Ascent need to make something happen, probably.
Yeah, usually, I mean, we've already seen that they like to sit around, but this time around they don't gain anything from letting time run out. So usually what you would see is you can kind of do the pseudo process bomb, but it doesn't work quite the same way, because you can't dip out through flowers quite the same way as you can through the sewers on process. So, but you can do something very similar to that. Just bombing the soldier through the choke. That kind of works. You can also do a lot of pressure through the cafe area. You basically make the medic go really far forward because he has to distribute heals very far forward, and this is kind of what we see right now. And oh my god, so they're gonna lose the soldier now. This okay, I thought maybe Nobby was gonna actually make his way in there, but not quite. But yeah, putting pressure onto Cafe and then trying to maybe jump in someone else because you know exactly where the medic is, that can kind of work. So it's still a soldier bomb through choke, but there's a few wrinkles on it.
Indeed, Nubby opting to stay on the soldier class and is just going to be coming all the way back to the fight here, opting not to go on the sniper class and sniper flowers or anything. And what we did see coming out from the side of Ascent is they tried to pressure on towards Cafe, and maybe that's something they were trying to do to create a little bit of space for the bombs. Lucas now spotting those stickies on the right hand side of choke, so it's going to make it even harder now for these soldiers to get in and bomb this one. But Gazzy2 right pointing out you're boring the viewers. It is a massive resident sleeper moment coming out at this point in time. Pappy now finding the bomb in, gets an air shot immediately, crushed into the ground by Voxtech. Not like you do there. Nubby in with a speed shot onto Domo, and Domo with a nice little surf there onto the roof.
Yeah, at least Nobby has been very quick to do these counter sacks, and he ruins his KD for sure. But that's not really what he's worried about here. Oh. Now it's a 5v5. Are we actually going to see something? Yeah, Kratos has actually made his way in behind. So this could be the beginnings of creating some sort of opening to get an Uber Force out. And he's going to come up here and gets spotted by Voxtech immediately. Voxtech's doing really well, but then Gink comes in onto the medic, not quite able to get the second rocket out. Unfortunately for Ascent, they're going to lose two.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a double sack coming in here. Maybe they just want to take an Uber trade and see what happens. This is the easiest way to force an Uber trade, is by sacking to making the enemy unaware that they're going to come into a direct Uber trade, as they're still holding close here. But Jorge isn't even in, and Domo has to use to save Lucas Stank there in the corner. Does find Everex over, but Jorge didn't even commit to that fight because they just went for a pressure play, thinking that they were going to take an Uber trade. Very big brain play.
Indeed, unfortunately. Well, I don't want to say unfortunately, but things are going to slow down a little bit here. They're not going to move in before they have a full roster, or at least have Everex somewhat close to joining them in this fight. But it looks like they're going to go through the soldier.
Gink in the corner onto Jorge, gets the force. It would have been a drop, so nice use there from Jorge to save his own life. But Gink, once again, pulling it out of the bag. Sixer in full retreat. Lucas Stank now jumping out of Cafe to get away from Gazzy. And this is going to be just a bit of a reset, but Domo with a huge Uber advantage, 70% Uber advantage to him, 60% even, because I can't do maths quick because I'm stupid. Anyway, so we are seeing Credit run in, and Smear is now wrapping them in towards mid. He's probably been called. He's going to be running here against Tomas, but gets cleaned up immediately. It's going to be Domo down to half HP, however. He gets arrowed by Jorge. Nice little bit of damage coming out from him there. Voxy going to be running in, trying to pick up a fragment to Lucas Stank, but Tomas now running in towards the shutter. Domo eats a ton of damage here. Bombing Soldier comes in, Lucas Stank with the air pipe on towards Gazzy to take him down. They are going to be running this Uber in towards last. It's going to be immediately cleaned up on towards Gink. He does get fragged by Everex there on last, a little bit overzealous there, as we have now got Voxy chasing Lucas Tank in towards lobby. This man is an animal. Tomas there trying to save his friend, but unfortunately he goes down for the save buddy syndrome. Smear going to be running through the shuttered door, doesn't care about the stickies, is just going to walk directly through them, and they are back in towards mid. Pappy getting cleaned up as well. It's going to be Jorge back with an Uber advantage.
Great counter aggression there, just really punishing Ascent for just taking just a tiny step too far forward right here. And they just collapse on them super effectively. They're going to try and take this bell tower away from the soldier. Gink's actually still underneath the point, but that's not a good place for a soldier to be in the long run. Actually going to get an arrow that's going to enable him to escape, and Boxing goes down to a sticky. This could enable Ascent to actually take this fight, and yeah, they get the Uber Force out of Jorge.
Yeah, that's great coming up from them. Doma's going to be retreating back into towards Choke. Looks like they are going to go for a bit of a recommit play up towards 95%, but a nice little jump there from Nubby to escape there. Going to be on 40 HP, escaping in towards Flowers, but the aggression is now on from the side of Ascent. They are going to be clearing all of these entryways as soon as possible. They do manage to clean through Cafe nice and easily, and they are going to be running in towards second here, on towards this lighthouse, and Gink there on the low ground getting tons of space for his team is going to just clear that area out, and they are going to make their way in towards lower. Looks like they want to go for an early last push. Looks like they are going to be taking this Uber in the top right area. They have not got anyone buffed at all, but they just want to use this advantage to kill Jorge in the shutter door, but he is already out. Everett there gets cleaned up immediately. Captain on point by Tomas. Looks like he's going to get this one. Unfortunately, he gets pushed off the point by Spear, but Spear gets taken down immediately. They have player advantage still. They can still commit to this fight, and they do. There's going to be Voxy running in with Jorge. Jorge insanely low. Isn't going to be able to find anything as Voxy gets taken down, and this is going to be another round inside of a set.
Yeah, it's not the cleanest push. I didn't like how Gink just jumped in before everyone else. That seemed kind of weird, so he got taken down on the flank, but overall, the Uber advantage was just too much there. They got too much space, they got time on the point, and they got a bunch of damage as well. And it's always very difficult to hold Sunshine last when you're kind of trying to fight your way out of your spawn. Those spawn doors are very small and they're on the low ground, so they're very easy to spam, so you need to make sure not to get caught down there.
Indeedy. We've now got the next mid-fight coming in. We have got Gazi actually hiding in Cafe. He's going to be running out here in towards Pappy, just pushes him back. Everex over for a bomb. Doesn't find anything. No soldiers for the side of 6. Looks like they are going to be retreating here. 2 down. They do not want to take this fight any longer, but Pappy going in finds Smear as well. This is going to mean the snowball is now on, but it is going to be the chariot running out. Jorge in through dungeon. Great play from him to try and escape. It gets cleaned up immediately. Credit with the Timmy 2 shot onto him. Voxtech also finding that frag, however. It is going to be Domo getting low. Vox, he knows it. He smells blood in the water and is going to be running out towards mid.
Control point is being contested.
He wants to be a hero right now. He's going to just try to worm his way in. And Nubby, he wants to do this so badly. Yep, there we go. He has found the spot, but I think he was spot. Yeah, he was spot. It's so difficult to actually use this properly because you need to get there at a time when they're not looking at it. And yeah, Poppy was looking at it the entire time.
Yeah, he understood what he was going to try and do. He's seen Nubby trying to do it 1,000 times. We have now got, Pappy bombing in, Gink bombing in, and Pappy also going in now. Eventually, Smith on the shutter, super aggressive. Could have been cleaned up there if you got some meat shot maybe by a scout, but they do Uber directly in towards Smith. They do pick up that frag immediately, but they've dropped Lucas Stank on this Uber, unfortunately, here. They've got Gazi on his shooting class, on the Pyro, going to be running forwards here with the flames. Does manage to get a bit of flare gun damage as well, and they do manage to take down most of Ascent, and they are going to be maybe in a position to push out towards second. They need to make something happen here. They've got 7 minutes left on the clock, and with the round trajectory going on, they might not be able to make it as these rounds have been going hella slow beta.
Yeah, indeed. They really could have used some splash damage in that Uber. Scouts were just not quite enough to just do enough damage there quickly enough. Smear's going to jump forward super quickly and somehow gets taken down by the Beggar's Bazooka from Gink. We've seen him use this thing before. Not quite this effective. And here comes the Uber Force out from Jorge as well. He did not want to use there, but I think he caught a pipe from Lucas there. And that's going to be a bad Uber, and they've already committed, but they actually get the medic. What a bomb in there from Nubby. He was in the skybox, and he just came in really quickly there, and he evens this up.
Yeah, he's like, I will salvage this misplay from my entire team on my own, and just bombs it. He gets it done. Anyway, we have now got the rest of Ascent now bombing in. Looks like Jorge wants to maybe escape through dungeon there. He's getting flanked by Credu, and the soldier now bombing in as well. Does head back out into the lobby with enough HP to pick up that pack and get back up to full HP. Gink is going to be now pressured heavily down to super low HP, and does manage to jump in towards Cafe. Doesn't find the pack, does jump all the way through. Is going to be bombing out towards... Does survive on a slither of HP there, only just left alive.
Man, Jorge just walked through a sticky trap. That made me nervous, and now everyone else on his team are actually going to die as they try to make their way out of it. And I mean, I don't think there's much. He needs one saw. Can't quite get it. He gets the sort of kill, I guess. But yeah, not very good times. It's just going to be Smear desperately trying to put up some sort of defensive. He just gets completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, he's dead immediately. Got loads of spawners coming out. Boxy gets immediately fragged on the show, on the heavy class there, in fact. Didn't even look like heavy. Looked like a hot knife through butter as Lucas Tank takes him down. Easy cap there for the side of Ascent.
Yeah, that it really just seems like Ascent, they've broken the code. They know exactly what to do right now. The mids aren't pretty, but outside of that, they're really good at just denying Six's aggression, and they're able to just focus fire them in through these chokes as they try to make their way in. And yeah, 3-0.
Smith super aggressive on this rollout. Did try and sticky out Flowers, but didn't manage to get it done. But both soldiers bombing in deep in towards Flowers. Tons of damage down on all of the players. But they do get nicely arrowed up by Doma there as they are pushing forwards. But Jorge and Co just sitting in this choke point, allowing themselves to get run over, it would seem. Voxy now eating a bunch of spam on that roof, but Smear walking forwards on his own, getting a bit aggressive. Pappy receiving an arrow on Tetris, and is going to be now bombing up. Going to get force pushed into the sky. Jorge out with the Uber. Thomas and Domo being like, nah, we don't want anything to do with this. Legging it out of mid.
Oh my god, Domo got an
Lucas Tank. Oh, yeah, he did. Wow, incredible.
Oh my god, that would have made me really nervous. Oh man, I really wish that they got a scout with that massive soda bomb in here. They're gonna just move in with this Uber right now, and
yeah, this Uber is a little bit tragic. They are now trying to get in super deep on towards Jorge. Not really finding too much here. Jorge out with a 40% Uber and just going to be retreating out now. And they are going to be able to pick up this cap, it would seem, on the mid. But it looks like they are going to go for a spawn camp play on this forward spawn. 3 seconds until they got Everex and Nubby back up alive. Okay. That hit him. That is insane. What? How did that happen?
I feel like those pipes kissed each other midair and then just flew back into the faces of them that shot them. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah, don't fact check me on that. But that was really incredible. Nice pipe there from Smear, and Lucas with the aggressive jumping gets the kill as well. That's a funny trade. And Ascent, they managed to cap this out, but Jorge, he has this tiny Uber advantage, and they're down, so they need to push.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously are going to be taking this advantage here, but 3 minutes left on the clock. It's a very tall order to try and win an Uber trade, number one, win it convincingly enough that you cap mid in the next 10 seconds, and you manage to win out all the rounds like going forwards. Thomas now pops out his Uber, much better the side of Ascent. TF Jorge immediately, Everex going down as well, and they're going to find Smear and Cafe as well. Looks like they can now wrap for a back cap play if they wanted around Gazzy and Nubby, but looks like they are now going to start heading in towards second. They are going to be able to get this cap up, and it's looking a little bit impossible, and I believe we will be going into garbage time very soon.
Yeah, we've got 2 scouts, one in front, one in the back. They're trying to see if they can actually find their way in. I didn't see what happened to Nubby there, but he's dead.
He drops an XD in chat. He knows what he's doing.
Alright, he did an XD. So there was the scout in the back, not quite managing to get the kill. Does a bunch of damage, and can Smear follow up? Yep, he can. Gate goes down.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice little frag there. Domo now with 80% Uber. They do have Uber advantage, but they can just opt to sit on second, as it is now impossible for the side of 6 to do this.
I mean, why would you even sit at this point?
Yeah, I would just run in, just, get in there. Everex now running out on the show. They're going to be running directly in towards last, trying to clean up some of these players here with this Uber advantage that they have. Domo still hasn't got his, has actually used his Uber in last there, and allows Pappy to just tick out from the flames of Gazzy. Voxy getting taken out there, but Jorge pops out his Uber just on Smear, and Jorge now getting juggled, getting the saw out. He's chasing Domo, he's going for the frag, and he's still got this Uber charge turned on, but Bushy is not on the point, gets cleaned up by Predu. It's going to be 4-0 to the side of Ascent, and that is going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy to the side of Ascent. Let's see if they can make it 5-0 beta.
Yeah, that would make you perfectly smart with the predictions. That's the main thing we care about here, I think, in this round. But yeah, also importantly, Jorge didn't get a kill in his log because he was just alive as the round ended. That's smart. If he had stood on the point and blocked it, would have been like, oh, that's quick roll on from Geek.
Airstrike bomb directly into choke. Gazzy's on Pyro. Ascent have lost. They can't win this. It's Gazzy on Pyro. He's going to get 5 rounds in 1 minute. You're going to see it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Doma getting taken down. Lucas getting taken down. Pappy getting super low. Is going to get Pyro class into a wall and die. Samira's going to be chasing credit into wall second. Why didn't they do this in the first place? Maybe they just had to have Gazzy on Pyro permanently. They would have won.
I don't know. They should have put the Gink on the airstrike earlier. They can do that, right? Like, surely that's in 6's power. Oh my god. Alright. Lucas just gonna jump out super quickly there, and Dome was actually gonna get the arrow kill. Oh my god. Get this scout. Get him! Get him! Got him. Good job.
Yes, Everex up on the scout class, wanting to pad his logs, it would seem, being up on the scout class, just trying to find frags. They've got 3 times cap on the points, going to be Jorge and Voxtech, having a nice little dinner date in this lighthouse, and are going to get bombed now, and their dinner date is totally ruined by explosives. It's going to be 4-0, or 4-1 even. They got the back cap! Easy back cap, ladies and gentlemen, easy peasy, it's a round.
I think that officially means my prediction is better than yours. I feel like that's how it works.
Oh, god damn it! You win this round.
Perfect.
Perfection. Anyway, GGs are out in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be Ascent moving forwards with the 2-0 victory. Going to be heading into the grand finals. We are seeing a total repeat of the TF2 grand finals from last week. Ascent just showing that they're still dominant time. And we'll see you in our next cast. So thank you all for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen.